All right, we're jumping into the year 2002. So we're just in the midst of spring training. We'll see where teams are at after last year's season. So last year, Mariners dominant. Let's check out the league history, playoff history, just for a reminder. Mariners sweeping the World Series, almost lost to the Tigers in the ALCS, but beat the Yankees pretty easily in the division series. And yeah, their team was just stacked. I think yeah, if I click on them there, it goes to their team this year. I think I can view them here. Here we go. So A-Rod, who has won like 5 MVPs in a row, obviously he has been ridiculous. Um, they had Tino. They had all these guys with tons of homers. Tino, Ibanez, 24. Tino had 40. A-Rod over 40. They had Griffey, Bell. So let's check. We'll see where they're projected to finish. So right now, coming into 2002, projected to be first and be good, but they won like 105 or 108 games last year. Only projected to be, I say only 94, but still a lot of the same guys back, looking real good. I mean, look at all these guys like top eight. Basically, everybody in their lineup is a top eight player in the game, so they're looking strong. Um, Royals creeping up. So actually, first let's go to the offseason center and let's check out offseason summary by team. So we'll see who's made a lot of moves here in the offseason, and then we'll look at where teams are projected to finish. So Dodgers coming in first as far as WAR gained. Let's check them out. So they added Fred McGriff. In real life, wasn't he a Dodger briefly? Oh, let's check. Can't remember. Tampa Bay. That's right. He went to Tampa Bay. He was a Dodger at 40 years old. So he was briefly a Dodger and then back to Tampa Bay. So in this game, he's 38, but they got him signed for 2 more years. So through 40 for pretty big money, 7 mil. But they added McGriff, so that's he's a solid player still in this game. What was he last year? Hit over 300, slugged 550, over 550, 33 jacks. So he's 4.9 WAR gain. They did lose Greg Jeffries, so not as good of a first baseman. Still not bad by any means. Mets picked him up, but also added Stalker and then McMichael, and they got Mondesi back. They had him, and he's bounced around. Now he's back. So let's check the Dodgers out here. This is kind of their spring training roster, but I still think it's their best one they're putting out. But just look at all their players. Canerco, he's been a great catcher in this game, former #1 prospect in the game, second best catcher right now according to the ratings. They got McGriff, this guy Riggs, Adrian Beltre is the second best third baseman in the game, so he's only 22. He's had a couple good years, so they're looking good. There's Pedro. Finally, Pedro had a good year. For a while, he hadn't been doing well in this game, and then last year, 14 wins and a sub-3 ERA. So that's his best year at 30 in a while. Well, it's his best year for sure overall, but he hasn't had a great year in a while. Let's check out the Royals. They're coming in second with 5 WAR gain. So they picked up Matt Evans, good center fielder, signed him from Pittsburgh. Pretty good ratings according to my scout. Traded for a couple pitchers that are only 1 WAR, but Evans was their big pickup. Last year they were below 500, and they're projected. We'll check it out. They're projected to be a lot better this year. So not a lot of great names. They got Jimmy Rollins. He's only 23, so he's come up as a prospect with them, and he's obviously solid, tied for second best shortstops in the game. And then Evans, who they picked up. They got Jay King, good closer, had 39 saves for them last year. Michael Tucker, you recognize his name, good defensively. Ken Harvey. So here's Beltran. He's 24. 20 jacks last year. Not the crazy. I mean, still pretty good on base in the 340s. I was gonna say not the crazy numbers that he's had in real life, but he's still good. He's up there. So Royals looking good. They're sneaking in there. Let's check out the A's last team, and then we'll look at the preseason projections. So picked up Rod Henderson, starting pitcher, 30 years old, 12-5 last year with a 3.63 ERA with the White Sox, and traded for Mike Duvall. He's been a good closer for St. Louis, 36 saves with them last year and a sub-3 ERA. Other than that, they lost Hoffman, but he wasn't great. He had a 4.50 ERA for him last year. It looks like he's hurt. Is he still a free agent? He's on Atlanta now. Atlanta picked him up. And they lost Paul O'Neill, who's 39, kind of on his way out. He still hit 16 jacks and slugged 460. Not bad. But that's let's check them out. We'll look at the A's. So they got Olerud. He's got to be getting up there. What is he? 33? I guess not. He's still got some years left. They picked up Ramirez. Obviously on Cleveland last year. He's been coming up with Cleveland. Sorry, not last year. Oakland had him last year with Cleveland 2 years ago. Had some ridiculous numbers. Slugged 747, on base of 453, and hit 392. So he didn't win the MVP because A-Rod's been sweeping that, but tons of accolades. They picked him up last year. He did all right, not as good as with Cleveland, but 22 jacks, hit over 300, slugged over 500. So they got Manny, they got Burks, 37, but still hitting. He had 26 dingers last year. Todd Hollinsworth, so they're not looking too bad. Here's Zito coming in, 23 years old. Pitched from last year at a 5.77 ERA, 130 innings. Pitched from in 2000. I think that was his rookie season. No, 99 was technically 178 innings. Had the highest, or was that the low? That looks like it was the best. Had the best batting average against balls in play. Could that be? Is that right? At 253? I don't know. I would think some pitchers have lower than that, but it when it says lead the league, I don't know if that means. I assume it's best because then it was 280 and then 293. So that would be, there's no way 253 could be worst. So, but that the AL, they're a heavy hitting team league. All the averages and stuff have been inflated here, so very well could be that was the best. Let's see, can we check like history? Oh yeah, first in ranking batting average balls in play in 99. Wow. So he had the 10th best ERA in 99, 4.18. Not great, but he was like rookie of the month, made the All-Star game. So yeah, that looks like it was the best. I guess maybe for qualifying, right, for a starting pitcher or something. Anyway, they got Zito. He's 23. Nothing fancy according to my scout as far as his ratings. But the A's are looking all right. So let's move on. Let's look at the preseason predictions. And we'll look at some of these other teams. So we saw the Royals. They're projected to win the Central over the Tigers. So they're kind of coming out of nowhere. It's been a while since they made the playoffs. Let's see. Can we look? How do we get to that info? Maybe. I think I got an organization. No, I think I got to go up here. Royals. And we'll go to team history index. Okay, so they obviously have quite a storied history going back into the 1960s and have not made the playoffs here in this sim that I've been running since 93. So they're looking to make some noise this year. So in a new spot now, projected to be good. Tigers have been decent lately, made the playoffs last year. Yankees have always been good, though they got beat right away last year, but let's check them out. Let's see who they have. Still Jeter. John Rodriguez has been good for them, 35 jacks last year. They got Mo Vaughn at cleanup, who they picked up last year from San Fran. Sosa, Bernie Williams. I mean, a lot of big names. They're going to get all those big names. They got Fryman this year from San Francisco. He's been there. Kind of top player, Travis Fryman for San Fran in the game. St. Pierre's always been a good starting pitcher. Looks like they got Chin Min Wang now. Well, he pitched from last year and the year before, I guess. He had a 4.04 ERA, 7-4, but pitched 130 innings. So he's only 21, so he came up early. So he came up, pitched at 20 years old, been doing pretty well. Been doing pretty well. So I do remember him being big in real life. Yeah, he says he's 6'4", 225. So that's the Yanks for you. Jays, they've always been pretty good. I mean, it looks like it'll be a tight race here, unless the Yankees run away with it. They're projected to be the best team, but then Jays, Orioles, Red Sox. Red Sox were good last year. They're all projected to be really close. We saw the Royals, saw the Mariners. They're looking like they're supposed to win that division pretty easily, 10 over Oakland. Top hitters projected, no surprise here. A-Rod, can he go for a sixth consecutive? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 5. In real life, Bonds was the only player, I believe, to have ever won 4, and those were all in a row as well. But then I don't think there was anyone who won more than 2. Maybe there was someone that won 3, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, Frank Thomas still going strong. He's 33, just like Olerud. Good first baseman. 59 jacks last year for Toronto. So he's been good for them. Over here, a couple of Kansas City pitchers projected to be some of the better ones. Jay King, a closer, and then Scott Mullen, the starter. And then Jesus Colome popping in there. So yeah, in real life, he was good for with Tampa Bay for a while. Maybe not good. I guess he only had a couple pretty, good years, but I just remember him being around a lot. But I guess yeah, he wasn't as good as I was thinking he was. But definitely had. I mean, he played. When I say that, he obviously was good. He made the bigs, but relative to his peers, but he did play a lot of seasons. Came in at 24, left at 33. It's a pretty good career. But he's projected to be pretty good. So a lot of new. The AL is really moving around a lot here. I mean, at least it's projected to. So we'll see if that's how it pans out. Looking at the NL, Braves, 105 wins projected. So they're projected to be about just as good as last year. They got Andrew Jones leading off. Still, they signed Hoyles again. He just keeps hanging around and keeps performing as a catcher despite getting old. 42 jacks last year. Chipper they got at second. He's been primarily at second in this game. 40 jacks, former MVP, and he has won 4 in a row, 3 in a row, 3 MVPs in a row. So can he do it again? Chipper and A-Rod, top players in the game. Ventura, Kelly Johnson now. He's projected to be good. He's I think he would be a pure rookie because last year coming up in 2001 only had 12 at bats, but he's a highly touted prospect here. Yeah, he came up at 18, didn't play a lot, but he's sniffed the bigs, and they have him rated pretty high, 9th best shortstop in the game. Klesko, they got in left. Andrew Jones, David Justice at 35, still projected to be good. And then, of course, always good pitching. John Leroy, Smoltz. They got Wainwright now. He pitched 81 innings for him last year with a 2.30 ERA. He's 20 years old, but they got him in the pen, so that's interesting. So, well, they did last year. Now they have him in the starting rotation in spring training. So Avery as well is in their rotation right now. He was a relief pitcher for them last year. He's one of the better middle relief guys in the game. And he's getting old, though. He's up there. So real quick here, there's Smoltz, there's Leroy, but you'll see here we got Mark Pryor coming into the game, and he's projected to be the best pitcher. I mean, that's just according to ratings, I believe. The guy's a true rookie. He's a pure rookie. He just got imported at 21 years old, has not even been in the minors, and they may have him straight up. Let's see here, actually. Let's check the Cubs. They're projected to do all right. This Central's looking good. Stros and Cardinals both projected over 90 wins, and then you got Cubs. But, yeah, here they are. Here's the Cubs. They got Pryor up there. Pryor and Schilling. Man, So this is kind of like the Wood Pryor of real life around that time. Well, it's not because Schilling's old; he's 35. But they got Dontrell Willis as well. He has been okay, but last year he did really well. Last year he did really well. He had a good year, 17 wins and a sub-4 ERA. They picked up Blauser, who's still a good shortstop at 36. So Cubs looking to have good pitching. It'll be interesting to see how they do. But Cards and Stroh's also looking good. Pujols has been a stud for the Cards. They got him at third, first best third baseman in the game according to the ratings. Rick Ankiel coming up at 22 years old. I shouldn't say coming up. He's been up, but he's only 22. Had a decent year last year, 4.05 ERA, 195 innings pitched. In 99, he had a similar type year, but a lot more wins, 16 wins. So they don't have him rated super high, but he's looking good. So that's the Cards. Let's check the Stros. Still a lot of these guys that are good. Berkman and Bagwell, Abreu, Luis Gonzalez. I mean, how old are these guys? Gonzalez 34, Bagwell 33. Yeah, Berkman only 26, of course, and Abreu's 27. So they still got that core. They're solid every year. Carroll was a Cy Young winner a couple years back, wasn't he? No, I'm sorry, he was just an all-star, but several-time all-star. He's been their ace. Oh, Granzich won the Cy Young. Here he is, 99. Granzich won the Cy Young. Darryl Kyle, so they're looking good. Kyle was 15-game winner last year, 4.02 ERA. So that's the Stros. That's the Central. It's looking good. Braves looking to just the gap that they're projected to win the NL East is 29 games over the second place Marlins. So the East is looking very weak besides the Braves. And then finally, we saw the Dodgers, Giants, and then hopefully the Rockies might be close. Giants got Tomey. They had him last year. They picked up Wangan this offseason. So big addition, though it looks like he's not doing great in spring training, but that's normal. But last year with Detroit, 48 jacks. I mean, he's still the top ranked left fielder in the game. And then good pitching. They got Alex Fernandez, Mike Hughes, their closer, was their closer last year, 37 saves with a 186 ERA. So that's the Giants. I'll give you a quick rundown on the Rockies, and then we'll wrap things up. So last year, we kind of, at the end of the year, we just went full rebuilding. We had a chance to make the playoffs, like around the trade deadline, picked up Blauser because we were weak at shortstop. We have Julio Lugo. He's only 26. He's good defensively. He was pretty good with the Astros. And then he was all right for me, after I traded for him in 2000. But then last year in 01, he was just struggling. We were weak at shortstop. We got Blauser, try to plug that hole, but our pitching just never carried us. Helton got injured. He's still out for just a week, and then he'll be back. But Holiday has been the top-ranked prospect in the game for a couple years in a row. Got him almost 400 at-bats last year. 16 jacks, didn't do great, but for being a rookie, I mean, he's only 22. He still has a lot more leeway to reach his potential. So hopefully he can get there. They got him at third. I can't fully control that right now because I did hire a new manager. Our former guy actually resigned. He only had 1 year left, and I probably wasn't going to rehire him unless we had a good year. But our new guy, let's see, we'll go to him. New guy was Boston's hitting coach, wanted to be a manager, good at development. So I like that. Good at like handling aging. So your veterans hopefully are still good. I don't know if the mechanics and teaching stuff matters for a manager. Maybe, I'm not sure, but he's good at that. Obviously, pitching, is not his forte. The prior manager I had was a pitching guy. That just didn't seem to work out well. So I kind of flush that down the toilet. Like I'm focusing on development, aging, some of this stuff too. He gives me the green light to change a lot of this stuff, hiring guys. I guess he's a little biased. He favors offense heavily over defense. favors hitting heavily, favors prospects. So I don't know if that's great. But once I sim out the games, then I decide the lineups and stuff. So that's not that big of a deal. But he seemed like the best available. So I picked him up, and I like where my guys are at for developing our talent. Our staff cohesion is better. Last year it wasn't great. That helps your players develop. So anyway, we'll see where we're at. Those have been the big changes. A lot of guys that are still similar. Castellano is back. He was hurt all for like a year and a half. We're probably not. Phillips isn't going to be here. I mean, he's a prospect right now, but how I like to do it again right now, he's controlling the lineup. But once I play the games, I will. We're probably going to go Castellano to third. Helton, who won't be hurt anymore, will be at first. Holiday in the left. Jody Garrett in the right, and we'll keep Tony in center. So I think it's a pretty good offensive lineup. We did trade Juan Pierre for Jeff Weaver. So I was offered that trade proposal. My assistant GM said, go for it for sure. But I don't always take their word that much. But looking at him, he's pretty good ratings wise. He's a fan favorite. That helps. He's popular. That helps bring people to seats. That helps you get money for free agents because we're not a big market team like the Yankees or something where we're going to have a lot of money for free agents. But he's also on a great salary, 468,000 through 2006, so 4 more years. So that's a great deal. Oh, it looks like actually okay, it's still a great deal, but because he's on that for this year, but he does go up. So I didn't really care about that, but it would look like a great deal anyway. But yeah, he's on a mil next year, and then 2 mil, and then 3 mil. So really, that's still not bad. That's for a young starting pitcher. That's good. We'll take that. And they got him as the 2 right now, below Justin Miller, who did decent for me last year. He's a young prospect as well. Had been a top 100 guy, but good control, above average stuff. So, we're just trying to get the best available pitchers we can. I'm hesitant to sign a big free, like save up a bunch of money and go big on somebody, give them a ton of money because it's just not a guarantee that they're going to do well. So then you put all that money into them and you're stuck with them if they don't pan out. Just like in real life, that was the mistake the Rockies made a lot. Mike Hampton gave him a lot of money. Darryl Kyle, those guys didn't pan out. When I say pan out, they were good. They were good until they got to the Rockies. Darryl Kyle, they ended up trading away after like a year or two. But Mike Hampton, Danny Nagel, the list can go on forever. They tried to get a lot of good pitchers, and it just never worked out. And they spent a lot of money on these guys. So in this game, I'm trying to find pitchers like these guys that I got that are younger, not on big money. I did give Sape pretty decent money. I got him signed for a couple more years because he's been a solid pitcher for me. He's on 4.7, and then he'll be over 5 mil in his final year. But that's about as far as I want to go, So, I'll sign a guy for a longer deal if he seems pretty proven, but probably not on big money. It just depends, If he's a real popular guy, maybe we'd do it to help the fans. We'd take that risk of them not panning out. But that's where we're at right now. Got 2 million for extensions. We don't have a lot of payroll this year. A couple guys just eating up a lot. Tony, who's going to be a free agent. I don't even try to say his last name. In real life, he came up through the Rockies organization, never made it out of the minors, but he's been solid in this game. He's been a stud for me. As you can see, 40 jacks last year, 2 years in a row, 100 RBIs, high on base, got a good eye. So he's on 5 mil here, final year of arbitration. Don't think I'm going to be able to re-sign him. I only have 2 mil right now, unless I traded guys away. But I got Helton for a lot of years and a lot of money. That was my big extension. I mean, the dude's extremely popular. He hit 400, over 400 one year, 414, won the MVP, was chasing 400 the next year, leading the league in OPS all these years. So he was hurt most of last year. Not most of last year. He still had 470 at bats. 2000. Yeah, he's been off and on with injuries. I mean, he had 600 at bats, 98, 99. So he's been kind of off and on. but I'm hoping he gets back to his old self here and is healthy. I got him signed for another 7 years. So that's where we're at financially. Those guys eating up a lot of my money. But we'll see how we can do. We'll see if we can make the playoffs again. We're projected to be close. You know, the NL West doesn't look super strong. I mean, Dodgers are projected to finish first with around 500. Let's finish up. We didn't glance. Pujols projected to be the top hitter in the NL. No surprise there. Coming off 40 jacks, slugging over 600. Berkman, JD Drew, Cliff Floyd. He's been solid in this game. Over here pitching, yeah, Pryor. Then you got Smoltz, Leroy for Atlanta, Dave Carroll. So up there for Houston. Jan Herman. I think that's who it is. And it's not the same guy I was thinking of. This guy in real life never made the bigs. And I'm thinking of, I think it was Herman Jan, but it was YAN. But this is Jan German or Herman. I assume it's Herman. There's Daryl Kyle, speaking of him. And then Jake Peavy, 20 years old, still young on the Padres. Had a couple good years last year, not great though. 10-16, 4.49 ERA with San Diego. You expect that to be a good pitching ballpark. So that wraps things up. Next sim will be, at some point into the season, maybe near All-Star game announcements or trade deadline or something like that. So thanks for watching. See you next time.